Hello and welcome. I would just like to let you all know a little background on the inspiration for this video, and then I'll get started. I just wanted to prepare a regular meal for myself. I can only have soft foods. I just had my wisdom tooth pulled on Friday, so I'm going to be doing a little bit something different today. I did want to just make a little video while I was cooking, as always, just to give you guys a little insight on different stocks, different prepared meals, different ways of doing different meals. I have the two how-to videos, and today I will be showing you how to make soup. With this soup, you can literally name it 2 and 3 different things. Just depends on your preference. I'm going to go over a few of ingredients that I have here. Give me 1 second. So today I will not be going so much in depth on description and what exactly I'm doing. I'm just going to be moving throughout the kitchen, and I am going to be preparing potato and turnip, bacon and smoked turkey and shrimp soup. Yes, it is a mouthful. I have my thick cut bacon here that I'm going to be putting in this pot in just a few minutes. I have some stock that I created with the smoked turkey meat that I have here. Doing that by literally throwing them in a oven on 325 low and slow for about 2.5 hours with the oil and residual fat from the smoked turkey. I added some additional stock that you can buy from the store, or you can make from yourself from scratch, and add it into there to create this lovely dark rich fatty stock that we're going to need and want to flavor our soup and potatoes that we have here that are already cut up. As you can see, I'm not going to go into all of the preparation. There is quite a few different preparations and cooking methods that we're going to go through very quick and fast. So you will see me doing multiple things very swiftly, and I will try to just touch bases briefly on what I'm doing. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Going to go ahead and get started. I've washed my hands, and I am going to cut this bacon so we can render the bacon for our soup. Soups require a lot of flavoring. I also like to incorporate as much fat as I can. I literally just started with the dry pot, adding my bacon in. It's not an issue to not have gloves on if you're working with food items that you're going to eat yourself, or prepare foods that you're going to eat or prepare for someone else. Just make sure you continue to wash your hands. Going to move the fat around. Move the bacon around. You can see here. While this renders, I am going to prep some onions here for the dish as well. I'm also going to be putting my potatoes on. You could do this in a one pot method. However, for time, I'm just going to get some of this stuff going so I am not here all night. So I'm going to be putting my potatoes on. Good to have a placemat to rest your items that you're cooking with on to avoid spills and to avoid cleaning up any mess. So we have here our rendered bacon, and you will have to drain off the grease periodically. You will have to drain off the grease again, reiterating for your bacon. It will continue to cook and it will render faster when you remove the fat. This particular bacon I have is peppercorn. Thought it would add a nice touch to the soup. I'm going to wash my cutting board because it has protein on it. I have been washing dishes as I go along. Um, Here we have our bacon pot with our rendered bacon. We can render this a little bit more, which I am going to be doing. As you can see, these bits of what appears to be burnt like crust in at the bottom here and all on the sides, that's all going to be good for our stock and added flavor in our soup, and we will get all of that down to the bottom in the nitty gritty, which I will show you how to do in one moment. But this is a good soil pot, and some people look at this as burnt, but this is really good soiled, and we will take care of that in 1 second. Again, I started these smoked turkey earlier today. I like to literally dehydrate, and which it does look like, dry out my smoked turkey to grab every bit of flavor that I can, which we have with our stock here. As you can see, it's very dark and nice in color. This will be also good for stocks and bases as far as gumbo, to get that really dark sauce that you want. As you can see, as I'm talking, our bacon is rendering even more, and I have not removed this grease, so I'm going to do that. So here we see a nicely soiled pan with our bacon. You could take the bacon out or you can leave it in. I am going to leave this bacon in, and I'm going to show you as soon as I add this liquid what happens. And of course, add it fast because that's almost as far as frying. If you add it too slow, it could pop on you. So if this looks like a pot of nothing, but this is nothing but good flavoring, and we're going to allow the bottom of this pan to steam off, and it will not be burnt at the bottom any longer. I will show you when it gets complete, but as you can already see, this is even darkening even more. So that was all of my fat and flavoring and stock, and I'm going to add more of this bacon fat that I rendered earlier, and then I'm going to be placing our smoked turkey as well in this stock. This will break down the turkey almost as far as pulled turkey. Like I said, I already dehydrated it earlier today. So it's already pretty much tender. It's going to break apart immediately almost once I put it in the liquid. So I'm going to complete a few processes. I'm going to continue to clean up as I go along. No one likes a dirty kitchen. And I'm going to prep some onions. I'm going to pull out a little bit more ingredients that I'm going to be using for the next steps, which will be our turnip greens. What else? So this is just the first stages, and I'm just continuing to add all of this fat and oil and stock and good flavoring and good stuff into this pot. As my potatoes come up to temperature, they're going to begin to boil. When my potatoes do reach a boiling point and when they become tender, I am going to smooth them out with a emulsified blender, which I have my top attachment here to the emulsified blender. I am looking for the bottom part as we speak. Here we are. These are really handy. You can get them at Walmart, Target, or anything like that. It has a blade here, and when we turn it on, it acts as a hand blender. So these are really nice to get. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the next ingredients to continue our soup. I have a whisk. A whisk also helps to reach those bottom pieces that were charred earlier. And I just want you to see that I didn't do any tricks or anything. I want you to see the bottom of this pot, because some people, they just throw the ingredients away. Once a pot is finished with any type of meat or protein, that's the best way to develop any flavoring. So if I can show you here at the bottom, you can see that it's still the same as the pot. No tricks. Just add a little liquid, and you'll be able to get all that flavoring and profile off. And for culinary terms, the term is called sook. It's the residual fat, the residual flavoring, or any seasoned, burnt, charred at the bottom of the pan. And you can accomplish that. So those are our first few steps to making any type of soup. You can literally just remake some of the ingredients or flavors that I did. You don't have to use turkey, you don't have to use shrimp, you don't have to use potatoes. You can use a different starch. You can do sweet potatoes instead of regular potatoes. You could do a different meat. You could do pork instead of turkey. It's all up to you. That's why I love cooking, because you can do so many things and go into many directions. Again, bear with me. I am in my relaxed state. So I'm cooking as I'm explaining, and I am going forward and moving on. I told you guys I was doing things a little bit different. I'm not doing everything so structured to where I'm showing you exactly what's being prepped and all of the exact stages. We'll be back. We are back. I just wanted to show you that I did go ahead and debone the smoked turkey. I know it looks like an animal got to it, but I went ahead and did the work. That way the end product would be nothing but meat. You want to think about your client or your guest or your eater at the end, so they don't have to pick out bones or nothing gets in the way. But as you can see, we have a good pot of goodness, nothing but meat, stock. Our potatoes are done. I went ahead and continued, like I said I would, to prepare the next steps, which is 2½ onions, some garlic, turmeric root, fresh turmeric root, and fresh ginger that I went ahead and pureed. And we will be adding that into the stock as well with our greens. These are turnip greens and cilantro. I didn't bother to cut up the cilantro. I removed a little bit of the stems, and I just allowed the flavor to do the rest. I like to keep the stems on because they do add flavor. Like if you ever had a pho soup, the cilantro is not, the stems are not cut off. I also have a block of cream cheese that we will be adding into our potatoes as we speak. Again, I am doing things unusual today. I am literally just cooking as I would normally do. I also have a lemon over here. I'm going to go ahead and emulsify my cream cheese and my potatoes together while it's hot. This is what a hand blender emulsifier blender does. It literally purees the food. So while we do that, of course, when you're adding and you're cooking greens, you want to add them a little bit at a time, letting your greens cook down, because if not, you will have just a big heap of greens that are not cooking. Going to add my puree into my potatoes. Purees is the quickest way to add flavoring into dishes. Quite frankly, my secret is just the lazy way of adding flavor to your dishes. If you don't feel like cutting. So I just wanted to show you how to go ahead and use the emulsified blender and incorporate your dishes. Just continue to until everything is well mixed. Of course, it looks like these are mashed potatoes, but of course we will be adding them into a soup. These are our greens that we added into our stock and our meat and our flavoring, and these look just like Thanksgiving greens. This is what you want. You want all of the flavoring. This is going to be our end result pot. Like I said, you could have done this all in one pot method. However, I did want to do it all in one method. Well, a couple different methods to get the most flavor. We'll be back. So guys, I told you I'm literally creating this recipe soup. This is our turnip, cilantro, bacon, smoked turkey, and a little bit of stock. I've been using this stock, incorporating it into my potato puree mixture. As you can see, it's all together. And I started out with a into one bag, an entire bag of potatoes. So this will make quite a lot. So if you do this, you would definitely have to reduce the moderations and recipes as far as amounts by at least half. Be back. Thank you for taking the time out to watch this channel. Excuse my monotone voice on the video. Like I said, I did have my wisdom tooth pulled, so I was in relaxation mode. Also, I just wanted to go through the rest of the methods that I used to complete the dish. After everything was blended up and prepared, you can see the big saucepan that I used to saute my onions. I added butter. I sauteed my onions. After the butter and onions were added and sauteed, I then added a little flour, half a cup, depends on your preference of thickness for your soup. Also, if it gets too thick, you can always thin it back out. So fear not. Go ahead and create a roux. That is what that process and method is. Onions sauteed, and then you can always add a roux, which is fat and flour, and a type of fat and a type of flour. I use butter and flour for this recipe. Also, after I added my roux, I added liquid as well afterwards. The rest of the stock that you've seen with my greens, and just to be honest, I added everything all together in one saucepan. I added the pureed potatoes that you've seen me create. I added the stock with the turnips, with the smoked turkey, with the bacon that we reduced that we reduced and that we cooked down. Also, in the beginning of the video, I showed you my meats. I had a shrimp as well. So it was already pre-cooked. I usually don't get that type of shrimp, but for this dish, I did use pre-cooked shrimp. You could saute those prior to develop some more flavors. That's the beauty of cooking. You can always heighten and escalate your flavors by adding seasonings and with cooking each of your items and each of your meats. Of course, like I said, I had already added my turkey meat and I pre-cooked that to dry it out. That way when it is added in liquid, it will be broken down. If you all have any questions, please feel free. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm exposing myself in my craft. I love cooking. It's in my blood. I love baking. So if you all have any questions about any dishes on my channel or about any of the dishes that I do, just comment, subscribe, add, and feel free to ask any questions. And I do enjoy doing this because it is, for me, nonprofit. When you are able to ask questions and stuff like that, it doesn't become a fee until one allows me to be in their presence. I do all types of events. However, I work a lot, so everything would be pre-booked. I do have my own page on Instagram, chef_Kareem Hutchinson. I also have my Facebook page as well. Like I said, thank you for watching, and I be sure to look for your comments and your questions. I'm also trying to think of anything else that I missed while I am speaking. So just to get back to the meal, I added the shrimp and everything else all in one saucepan, and I let those flavors develop. And I also thinned out the soup a little bit more. If you do run out of stock, you can always create more, or you can just add a little bit of water. You could add a little bit of cream. You could add a little bit of milk. It just depends on your prerogative. You all seen me add the cream cheese into my puree mixture with the potato puree mixture. So therefore, I didn't want to incorporate any additional cheese or cream or any other dairy, because I felt as though it was a perfect consistency for myself. So thank you.